how Steven said they're taught to be scared of black people, maybe they need a diversity dating app so that everybody knows whoever come across their profile.
They're interested in whoever, whenever, and however you're rocking.
Yeah, yeah.
One of them. What's good, y'all? It's the Demouchets REACT, and we're back with another video. Who we got today, C?
Today we're back with another American reaction.
Let's get it.
Super excited about this video, guys. If you're new to us and
we're new to you,
make sure you scroll down,
hit that subscribe button,
and turn on the post notification bell
because we're on the road to 100K.
And we cannot get there without you guys, all right? Join the family. Without further ado, let's get into the video.
Spectrum is a social experiment that explores the diversity of perspective that exists within a shared identity. The opinions expressed by the cast are not the opinions of Google, YouTube, or Jubilee. Thanks for watching.
Personally, I've been blessed with this kind of hair,
What do you mean blessed, though?
I know where to act appropriately for
But you're
each
saying
situation.
act. That's acting.
As soon as I walk in a room, kids start crying.
No!
Wow.
We are the change that Japanese society can make.
I had never talked about any of this ever before.
My name is Chippa.
Doraemon.
Seon.
Jasmine.
Arthel.
Steven.
私はAishaです. I'm black in Japan.
All right, so I thought this was a family by the thumbnail.
You did?
Yeah, I thought this was one big family expressing how they live in Japan and being black in Japan, but this is all, individuals. So interesting. Ready to see how they all, impact Japan.
Japan is a nation rich in history and culture. Its art, music, and food are very distinct and have made their influences around the world. But did you know that until about 150 years ago, Japan had been closed to almost all foreigners for nearly 2 centuries? Because of colonial rule and religious reasons, the military government, known as the Tokugawa shogunate, limited foreign ties and shut down the country's borders. In 1853, the U.S. Navy led a small expedition that strongly compelled Japan to enter trade with the West and end their isolation from the world. Today, Japan is still one of the most ethnically homogenous countries, with 98.5% of the population being Japanese. Of the remaining 1.5%, only 0.02% are black. We brought together a spectrum of black people. Some are Japanese natives, while others are expats, to share their unique stories about culture, community, and the black experience in Japan.
This is a whole production.
It's difficult for me to get my hair done in Japan. 3, 2, 1.
I'm gonna go over here.
Strongly agree.
Okay.
Actually, your hair looked nice.
Now I know where to go to get my hair done.
Okay.
How do you get your hair done?
Locks.
Hey, you can't go wrong.
I also have a sensitive scalp, so I don't like people touching my hair so much. But I also tried experimenting with Japanese products because I'm here, why not?
And how did that work for you?
Yeah, no, it does. There is a little bit of buildup, but what I do is I modify it to my tastes, so I can adapt.
Okay.
I think Dani.
That's the best way to put it. You can adapt. And then, of course, I think she probably just retwists her own hair.
Right.
You can't go wrong with that. You can wear it crazy, stylish, let it hang freeform. Locks is the best way to go sometimes for some people, whoever you are. She killing it in Japan.
What's interesting is our video that we just did about dreadlocks in Japan. You and I were talking about the scalp. Like, when you're natural, yes, you have to deal with the whole hair. But when you have locks, it's really important for your scalp to get the real treatment.
It's mainly your scalp that you want to treat.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to say, for her to say that, she's in Japan, she's trying out their products.
Yeah.
And I hear that a lot. just in the social media space, people trying Japanese products, like even the skincare, and it's not just Japanese people who are using the product. So that's interesting that she said that. And
I'm about to say, it's just confirmation that she said that because we mentioned it the other day.
Yeah, and I like how they're holding this discussion by being on the line, and it's different from the other one that we watched. So I like this one.
Yeah.
Side I come across is the maintenance part. Like, I've been blessed with this kind of hair. Like, I don't have an afro. It's like a mixture between like straight hair and afros, curly. So like, I don't really have that much struggle when it comes to cutting
What do you
hair.
mean blessed, though?
Blessed, yeah. Blessed.
What do you mean blessed, though?
No, not her walking up.
Is that what you're saying? You got that good hair?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying.
No, I just need you to
Clarify.
Facts. Come on, talk about it. Yo.
Is it a bad thing?
Like when you
What's
first come-
interesting is, I saw him there, but it just seems like he's, I didn't know he was black. Let me just say, I didn't know he was black.
Yeah, you could tell that his mom and dad wasn't like the same race.
Yeah. So let's see what he got to say.
Right.
You don't even know where to go, right? Like there are only Japanese salons and like Japanese hair cutting places. So I went to like this one Japanese shop and like I sat there on a chair literally for almost 8 hours straight. And all I had was like, she only did like 8 cornrows. So I mean, it was like an hour per per
Japanese person?
She was Japanese, yes.
An hour per
and it wasn't even good.
cornrow.
Like they were so big and so like just like frizzy. Like when I call my family, like black folks, they're like, "What's wrong with your hair?"
Well, I guess for me, like I'm just trying to find someone that could cut the top and do the fade, right? I go to a full Japanese barber. I started going there and I told him like, yo, like I need my hair to be cut like this. But he put in the time and started looking at YouTube videos himself.
Wow.
And I've been going there for 7 years.
But can he line you up?
And even he's
Yeah,
fought
can
like
he-
the.
Can he give you a line?
Yeah, I got the double lineup, bro.
Double lineup.
That's important for Afro.
My name is Seon Tanaka. I was born and raised inside of Bahamas. Honestly, after leaving Bahamas, I came to Japan not really knowing much Japanese. Just going from a place where you're comfortable with to going to a place that you're uncomfortable with. I really feel like it's important for you to keep pushing yourself forward. Going into junior high school, I got basically zeros in every class.
Wow.
Even with that, I was still able to get into a pretty great high school and pretty great university. And I'm now a full-time student and a part-time fashion model.
Is his mom Japanese?
I have
The
felt
lady he was just pictured with, I guess. I mean,
Was that his
picture
mom?
with a random lady?
I don't know.
He didn't say if it
pressure
was his.
to use skin lightening
sorry.
products.
He didn't say if it was his birth. He didn't say
He
nothing
didn't
about
say that.
the
It was just a
lady.
photo, but I'm saying if
Yeah.
the photo was up there, it should have been his mom.
I mean, his name, but he's from the Bahamas, so we don't know.
We don't know.
We
Y'all
ain't
go-
gonna
yeah.
say put things
Yeah.
out there.
3,
Skin lightening products.
2, 1.
Everybody better say no. Everybody better say no.
もう完全に岐阜県って田舎の
田舎だ。
そう地方のところで育ったから私の兄弟以外に同じ肌の色の人を見たことがなくて、もう
Okay.
常に何かしらの嫌がらせとかは受けてたからずっと私のお母さんになんで黒人と結婚したのってなんで私をこの肌の色に産んだのっていうのをすごく言い続けていたしただ今は本当にすごくリスペクトしてるし自分の肌の色が大好きだしちょうど3ヶ月前ナイジェリアにしばらく行ったことがあってその時にすごいたくさんの人がブリーチを使って肌の色を白くしていたのを見た時にすごい悲しくて
I kind of understand why they do that. Because they assume that becoming much lighter, you're going to have more opportunities in any kind of industry.
Yeah, we
You're
spoke of
treated
that.
differently.
You treat
for
differently. Like, for
sure.
example, like
Honest.
if I go back to Africa, right? They'll call me boss right away just because of
They
like
call you what?
boss.
Boss.
Yeah, boss, please wait for a stop. No, boss, because I just have a light skin. So if you're light, you have more opportunities,
that
and I
why
think it
they call
also
him
applies
boss?
here. But personally, I've never really gone through that kind of thing. Yeah.
I knew that I looked different, and I didn't want to look different. It was just a painful experience. So I didn't know about skin whitening, but I wish my skin looked like everybody else.
Nah, bro, you see what bullying do to a person? When you start speaking about certain characteristics of them, they want to change that. You know what I'm saying? And those two ladies, I instantly thought they was trying to just have some balanced skin tone and face product. You know how ladies are. Y'all love to have y'all nice, smell good lotions and all that, but it's deeper than that. It actually got talked about.
That's interesting. You know, I'm not mixed. I'm not biracial. And I've just always been a little anti-racist baby from a kid, you know, and I always appreciated the differences in people.
Yeah, facts.
And that's why, you know, when the topic of racial issues come up, and, you know, I've gotten complimented a lot as a young girl and a young adult, and, you know, in my early adult years, I've gotten complimented a lot about being so proud of who I am. And I've always, like, when I've had friends who were Asian, you know, white, I've had those friends, and I've always just told them to appreciate who they were, regardless of anything. So hearing, you know, perspectives like that always kind of tug at my heart, because I've just always been so happy with myself.
You never been on a bully side, though. Like, you wasn't the type to just bully people.
I was bullied. Just
no,
not
you
by
wasn't
my
bullying
skin.
people, though.
Right.
Like,
and let me
you know what I'm
clarify the
saying?
bullying part. The bullying side was because I was short. See, that's why I developed the personality that I have.
Come on,
Nobody
man.
bullied me after about first grade. Nobody played with me.
Jeez.
But yeah, that's what it is. I mean, I don't know.
And then you always get complimented about your skin, though.
Yeah, I take care of my skin.
They say you're glowing all the time.
Yeah.
It's like
Don't
a
start flirting with me now.
vibrant, you know what I'm saying?
Don't start flirting on this camera.
My mom's
See,
Japanese and my dad's black, and I'm born and raised in Yokohama, Japan. The first time I realized I was black was when I went to a Japanese school, and not a single kid looked like me. I wasn't aware of what race was at the time, but I knew that my hair was curly and kinky and different, my skin color was different, and I was being bullied hardcore for it.
And that's the thing about being with a black person. Black is a dominant gene. It's like you're going to have a feature that's going to scream cultural black person. You know what I'm saying? The hair, the lips, you know what I'm saying? The skin tone. And even we have black Japanese who have like these beautiful structured skin, and their eyes be so complimentary, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, it's the mixture of it that just screams, wow. Yeah. So I'm sad that she had to go through that as a little girl.
I am as well, but you can see somewhere in there it changed because of how she keep on not snapping but checking the other guy about
Ooh, you noticed that too then?
Yes.
Okay, y'all noticed that too?
I honestly wouldn't have thought that she was biracial. Because she's lighter, and I'm used to being around black people who are lighter because my mom.
Right. So we see light. We don't necessarily think, oh, you mixed with Japanese or something. Like, we don't see that. Like, so.
Since I was a kid, I've thought I'm gonna be a singer no matter what. I was signed to Sony Records when I was 16 years old. And once I started collaborating with Imai-san, my music like blew up.
でも英語の歌詞好きよすごい。
ありがとうございます。
いろんなバックグラウンドを彼女は持っていて、こういう日本人的な、すごくこうクールな部分と黒人といったところのグルーヴ感とかオープンな。
I don't know if you're gonna remember it, but we used to react to, you know, Japanese music.
K-pop.
Is it K-pop? All the ladies?
Oh, the group.
The group of girls, because that's what she remind me of, one of them.
I wonder if she was in that group. I don't remember.
I don't know.
I don't know.
It was. I don't remember the name, but if y'all know, you know what I'm talking about, though, right?
Yeah.
So that's what kind of was she, you know.
I just said she reminded me of somebody.
Right. So that's what I thought about.
You know who she looked like on this right here? Carrie Hilson. A mixture of Carrie Hilson and Dani Lee. That's what she looks like to me. But no, she does look familiar though.
Yeah.
So I wonder.
I hope I can make something that can bring Japanese culture and black culture together and make something cool. You know, I hope I will try my best.
"私は日本人だけど、ブラックのルーツがあって見た目もブラックの女性なんですけど、私も日本人であって日本にも
Yeah.
私はナイジェリア生まれです。
Wow.
Wow.
That's your
そう
born
私
in
のお
Nigeria.
父さんは私が5歳の時に離婚をしたので、そこから私の兄弟と母で母の実家で過ごしたので、見た目が、ブラックっていうこともあってよく外国人って言われることがあったので、同年代の女の子たちや、男たち以上に自分が日本人であるってことを周りに認めてもらうために自分をそういう風に変えなきゃいけない環境下にいたっていうのは子供ながらにやっぱりストレスがかかるような。
Bro, but you gotta go back to the statistics at the beginning. They say 85% of Japan is Japanese people.
Was it 85?
89%.
It was
somewhere
90 something.
It was somewhere around there.
Yeah,
it was somewhere around there.
But
And then
0
like
point
2
something
was
is black. 0 point
So
something.
you gotta think about that. They're growing up in an environment where there's no one that looks like them.
Yeah.
And if you see it's like maybe it might be a chance you might see somebody that's black, you know?
I could not imagine going through that as
Yeah,
a
so
kid.
I know there's being bullied. Like, you can't doubt that. That's 100% facts.
状況だったと思うし、そういうふうに思わないといけない環境下に置かれる子どもたちが一人でも減ればいいなって。
Dating in Japan is hard for me.
Oh, Lord.
3,
This is gonna be interesting.
2, 1.
I bet y'all go on that side. Whoa!
He say strong. How come he say strongly?
How come my
agree?
man here who say, oh, I have that blessed hair, is out here hurting to find him a little love? That speak volumes.
I need to know why.
That speak volumes.
Because, again, like I said at the beginning, because I know the topic of the conversation, I thought that he would be, Japanese, just with a darker skin tone.
He looks like he's in that bracket. Like the genes went more so on the Japanese side for him. You know what I'm saying? Like a stronger a stronger look.
Blessed hair.
With the blessed hair and stuff. You feel me? But I'm saying my man out here is struggling. And he strongly agree. He went to the far right. Wow.
Interesting.
Let's hear it. Whoa.
They laughing at him. Oh my God.
Yo.
He laughed at himself, so it is funny.
This is funny, bro. This is too much. Wow.
Dating in Japan is hard for me. 3, 2, 1.
Even with the brother with the cornrows.
She wasn't really laughing.
So what's wrong?
What's wrong with you?
Oh, wait, sorry.
Oh, man.
I mean, like, who are your interests in the first place? Like, who are you trying to approach?
Honestly, like really talkative people.
In this country?
In this country, that's the thing.
That's why you don't
So I think that's where the I think that's where the mismatch is.
You gotta come down.
And honestly,
with
from
your
my
stance.
experience, like usually Japanese people want to date, the typical Caucasian male. So I really struggle with that area.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you.
I have to disagree with you on
It is
that.
separated. Like you're gonna find Japanese who only like Latins or only like blacks or only, but they definitely like the whole spectrum of race.
Oh, she's
What I
somewhere here.
noticed, like, black and Japanese, American and Japanese culture is so different. You know how when we see friends, we hug, hi, how have you been? And sometimes Japanese men are like, oh, she likes me because she touched me. I was like, oh, no, I'm just saying hi.
For me, like for first appearances, it doesn't seem like I'm really desirable. It's like my white friends are more desirable. But when I start the conversation, it's like equal playing ground. That's what I feel.
Personality.
Okay.
私は日本とナイジェリアのミックスで完全に日本で育って母国語が日本語だからでも、基本的には日本人とデートする場合は何も問題がないし
言葉の壁がないんだね。
そう。
だから今言ってることは、だから文化の違いの問題なんかが多かった。けどなんかもちろんその文化の違いがないから、どっちが問題、その日本人が問題か私たちが
自分だったらなぜ日本人と付き合うのが難しいかというと、話しても内容がどうしても浅いんだよね。
No, it has a lot to do with the culture and the way you are brought up.
Is this language problem?
It's not a language problem.
I think it's a cultural problem. But the cultural problem here, One thing is, and honest, come, we have to be honest.
Yeah.
Most of the Japanese people, in first, are scared.
This is our first time hearing Steve speak, but he looked like a vocal coach.
Mm-hmm.
Like one of the
He
people,
do look like somebody in the arts.
Yeah, like in arts or something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let's see what he got to say.
Hold on, wait.
Go ahead,
I do want to say, I hope nobody took offense to me saying speak English. It's just, I was so used to just not having to read the subtitles. That's all that was.
Nah, you good. Because at the same
That's all
time,
it
it's interesting to hear them, you know, just switch it up every once in a while. But I'm not expecting y'all to do it. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
'Cause
Well, Japanese is her first language, so that's why everybody started speaking. But I'm like, hold up, now I got to read. You know?
Scared of us.
Scared of black people.
Right.
I think black
And honest. If you're gonna talk, you gotta talk the truth. They're scared of us. The little kids are taught. They're standing there with the parent, and the parent, you know,
pulls them away.
pulls them behind the back instead of teaching them that it's no difference. So if we're gonna talk about how to date and who to date and where you date, you gotta also think about where it comes from, and it comes from the way they're taught, and the way you're taught has a lot to do with the way you live.
Come on, Steven, for
As
the
a
one
bar.
time.
Hey, put that in the comment section. The way you're taught is the way how you live. That was nice.
That was a bar.
He cleaned it up.
Cleaned it up.
He made that boy go in hush mode.
Yes.
So his problem is that the conversations he feel are just surface level, and he talks a lot, and he feel like they don't really dig deep into their conversations. But then my man's over here, Steven, is saying that it's not just they don't want to dig deep, it's also their culture that you got to understand and respect. So they're taught a certain way on how to act around black people, or how to act around other races at the same time. So
maybe he needs a dating app. Do they have dating apps out there?
yeah, they got so many
Well,
dating apps these days.
Like
So many.
specific dating apps.
Nah,
Like,
real talk.
you know, a dating app for diversity. Like, what you call it? Like, you know how they have Christian Mingle?
Oh,
What
Lord.
I'm trying to say.
No, you talking right.
Christian
Mingle, and they
Mingle.
have all these other. I don't know no dating apps, y'all.
Yeah,
Personally,
yeah, but
I haven't used one, but
yeah,
this
like
is-
maybe they need
somebody
that,
in that ballpark.
so that is, you know, how Steven said they're taught to be scared of black people. Maybe they need a diversity dating app so that everybody knows whoever come across their profile.
They're interested in whoever, whenever, and however you rocking.
Yeah, yeah.
One of them.
My name is Stephen Haynes, and I've been born and raised in San Francisco. It's a city I feel love, peace, gay, and happiness. As a Black American living in Japan, some of the challenges that I face as an entertainer. When I'm on stage, oh, they applaud me. But when I get off stage and I take off the costume, sometimes they're afraid of me. Feel it, pose, soft, beautiful, elegant. Being LGBTQ in Japan, I think it's a lot different because here everything's hidden. Everything's in the closet and everything is way, 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 way back. What are we hiding? What are we doing? We have one life we should live. Hasukashi iranai. You like yourself. So I try to help my friends to step into being who they truly are.
He tapped in.
My name is Arthel Isom. I'm originally from Paterson, New Jersey.
He's an art director.
I'm the CEO and art director at an anime studio here in Tokyo, Japan. There we go. Oh yeah, that's better. I've been in Japan now for almost 16 years, and so I've been removed, right, from the Black experience in America. Initially, I never thought about it. I was so focused on just being out here and just working. And now I have to really put an effort to stay connected, I guess. My brother, my twin brother, who's in LA, when I'm talking with him, just some of the things that he goes through, it makes me think like, oh, wow, like, that's right. So even when like the Black Lives Movement was in America, and we did the marches out here, it reminds me of just kind of like childhood and things. In Japan, sometimes you can forget about our color because it is a thing, but it's like not a thing. As long as you can speak Japanese and things like that, then you're pretty much like immersed in the culture. No one focuses on that.
So let me clarify what I mean by that's good. Don't get it wrong. We love being black and proud. But having it always a topic of conversation so much because of the way we live and, you know, some of the issues we deal with here can be exhausting.
Yeah.
Exhausting. Okay, so that's what I mean by that.
I've had experiences with the police in Japan.
Oh.
3, 2, 1.
Only once. 私ミスユニバースジャパン2020の大会に出ていて、そう Thank you Thank you so much。家に帰る途中に警察に止められて、なぜなら時間がもう12時前とかにすごい大きいカバンを持って駅をこうやって歩いてたから警察に止められて。そのカバンの中身何ですか見ていいですかって聞かれたんですよね。夜の12時だのが人生で初めてだったんですよ。その警察にその時にこれは多分黒人の見た目だったからそれは本当にびっくりしたんですけど、結構その怪しむもののその肩書きとか実際明らかになったら、彼らはそのね疑う心はないのかなって思った時に、ちょっともどかしい気持ちではあったけど。
I have a brother who's like 3 years older than me. Like ever since we were kids, if we're on bicycles together, if there's a police officer, 100% they will stop my brother. And I can see him changing his demeanor. He's like, oh no, I'm a good guy. You know, I'm friendly.
The code switch.
I'm not that bad. And it's so heartbreaking to see someone you love be treated like that.
Man, I get stopped like all the time. Like I think like I just look aggressive.
It's the cornrows, bro.
All of us have gotten checked at a certain point in life, but did we think that police would start using violence against us?
No.
Right? I think that's really a huge point that I could give the Japanese police for, but there is some concerns.
I feel accepted by the Japanese community. 3, 2, 1.
Having came here, it's not like...
That's interesting. And of course I'm saying it's interesting because of, our experiences over the internet. We have Japanese supporters. But they're living the experience.
It's not just people that choose to like you on the internet. It's people that you got to encounter and walk past every day. So when you have those type of encounters, you get to really see firsthand the brushing off, the pulling my child from you, the turning him the cheek from you, you know what I'm saying? The staring at you, all those type of unnecessary acts that makes people uncomfortable, and they probably just deal with that on the regular. You got to think about the community, like it's a lot of people walking nonstop, 24 hours. So yeah.
I'm actively being pushed back in society in some way. I mean, the Japanese people that I do encounter, of course, they generally just open up. They listen first. If you don't agree with them, then you don't agree with them. I think that's just that simple. I've gotten this far, I think. So I don't really have too much to complain about.
In my case, the reason why I feel like I'm still not accepted here, because I think Japanese media plays a huge role when it comes to, Japanese accepting you. I'm half Japanese and half Zambian. And I moved to Japan 13 years ago. And the thing that surprises me the most is that many Japanese people don't really have a good image about Africa. Before, I used to be really emotional. Whenever I felt angry or, express my opinions without listening. So I've learned to listen to other people more. I think being a mixture of both, wonderful worlds, I feel this sense of responsibility and to break down that stereotype. And I just wish that Japanese people would be more curious to find out, the good side of Africa.
Like in Japan.
Now, being in a homogenous community, we haven't experienced that. With just one type of people. And mostly everyone thinks the same. It's kind of like being in a neighborhood,
Yeah.
But for them, it's bigger than the neighborhood. So it's I can't even wrap my mind to think what that is like. I just wouldn't even know.
Yeah, I think. And what was the question again? Being accepted by the community.
Yes.
That goes back to the very beginning when they asked the question about. I forgot the question, but the ladies were speaking about being bullied. You know what I'm saying, for their skin tone or trying to lighten their skins and stuff like that. So they've been trying to fit the narrative, but you know from your own perspective that you will never be able to blend in. You will never be able to be like anyone else. You have to be yourself in any environment that you're in. So that's just kind of how that go. And I think it took time for them to understand that, but. Yeah, I agree. I think people need to open up their eyes and try to show a love for all cultures at some point in their life.
Yes, definitely.
And like I'm a big guy, right? Like rather than States, like I'm not so big, but like, and then yeah, like I've gone to schools, like when I used to teach English, and like as soon as I walk in a room, like kids start crying.
Crying? How did that
crazy.
make you feel?
I felt bad for the children.
Oh,
like I felt like, oh
Yes.
man, like did I do something wrong? And
Wow.
which is
My man said the babies would cry. Y'all really had them kids thinking something else then.
Right. And it's crazy because he said that he thinks maybe he looks aggressive. He doesn't look aggressive to me.
Right.
He looked like a person who's in the arts. I mean, that's kind of the person in the arts.
Ain't that what we...
The hairstyle.
Nah, real talk.
Yeah.
Even in his personality, he comes off very soft-spoken. But isn't that what like a lot of people do firsthand when they feel like something is happening to them? They think that they're the problem. And I feel like that's normal, but at the same time, like... The babies though, like y'all really condition them kids to like they cry. I've never experienced that, bro. I can't imagine what he went through. Walking in a group, a class, and kids just start crying because of a black man in the building. Like that's hard.
Crazy. They'll
that's
be
hard,
whooping
bro.
and hollering for you.
I already know it
with the blocks.
Yeah.
like when I used to teach English, and like as soon as I walk in a room, like kids start crying.
Crying?
Like
How did that make you feel?
I felt bad for the children. Like I felt like, oh man, like did I do something wrong? And which is and then so I had to adjust my presence, right? Like adjust my presence so that and so even in America, like when I go home now, everyone says I don't act American. They're like, dude, like you act Japanese.
I was born and raised in Japan my whole life, so my mannerisms is kind of like pretty Japanese. Like for example, if my American friends that are black, if they sit on the train, nobody literally packed train. Nobody will sit next to them. And so
raise your hand if you ever experienced that before.
Well, I haven't experienced that.
I've sat down in a cafeteria.
Oh, I'm thinking like public transport.
Well, not just I'm talking about anywhere.
Transport.
Like when you pull up in an environment or any space, community or whatnot, and then you realize that the crowd slowly is packing itself over there.
Oh yeah.
And then you just standing over here and you like.
Yeah, I've dealt with that.
Like it's weird, bro. It's like what y'all afraid of? What are y'all trying to prove to everybody else? Like that's cringing to me. I don't like that type of stuff.
Dealt with that.
I feel like because I know the mannerisms or how to act or how to make myself small, I'm accepted more.
More approachable, maybe.
Even over there like, and I'm over there like,
yeah.
Like I told y'all, you know, as a small kid, I wasn't necessarily bullied. I would say picked on, because I was so small. I've been small all my life, and that is why, like, you know, when I used to do what you call it, babe? What you call it? Acting.
Okay.
For theater.
You did so much. I'm about to say something different. But
yeah, acting for theater. And I would come off stage to greet everybody after the show is over. People would be like, "Oh my God, I didn't know you were so small," because I make my presence so big, and that is something that I've just worked on since I was a kid. So me playing small, that's why they were like, "When you come visit our country, we don't do this, blah blah blah." Sierra not gonna play small for nobody. Just letting you know.
You may not be seen, but be heard.
Wait, hold up. That was a deal.
My language is different.
No, wait. Yeah, sometimes they won't see you over the people that's walking by. Like me, if we walking together in the crowd, they're going to see me first. They will not know I'm walking with Sierra.
That's why I always walk behind him, like in a crowded area, and I just hold on. Come on, baby.
Or she leave her hand on her shoulder like that the whole way.
Lead the way. Like, I don't even have to see in front of me. My man got me. Okay.
Facts.
I'm a lot nicer. In English, I'm like, yo, what's up?
I kind of adopt those same techniques. You want to kind of blend in somehow.
Yeah.
You said on the train, like, you know, you make yourself small.
Yeah.
In some cases, I, like, you know, read a book, for example, because that makes you more approachable.
Yeah.
So, like,
No. You're fitting into being quiet. Japan, first thing they teach you, shiska, shh, don't talk. But if you stop and look, Do they really feel this with all the suicide rate? If you hold back everything you're feeling and you have nobody to share it to, what does the Japanese do?
Well, but Steve, you gotta understand though. At the same time, the reason why I think I understand why Aisha is like this, right?
Yeah.
Is because we're half. We have a part of us that still has to feel like we have to conform in some way because.
So that was his mom. He's half. All he said was that he's Bahamian, and that is interesting because we are not taught to say that we're American. The first thing we say is that we're African American or we're black.
Right.
See, and that's I love that. I really do because we didn't know who the woman was in the picture.
Yeah, that was our first
He said
question.
he's Bahamian. You know, so that
everybody else that made a mention about their family tree.
Right, and that's another what do you say? You know, the divide and conquer. I feel like it's another part of what the founders of this nation wanted. You know, for us not to feel. Never mind, I'm going back into American history. Don't even worry about it.
Oh Lord.
Don't worry about it.
We're still half. We're a part of this country.
But they're two
as well.
cultures.
It's a part of the culture. At least understand where our culture is from.
Maybe I'm getting it wrong, that you have to be like this here and you have to be like this here.
Yeah.
I do it as my first foot into, because this is they're not familiar with like a black female American, right? So it's my foot to like introduce myself or to talk to them like kind of like shy or just like very what's the word, apprehensively, because that's what they're used to from Japanese people. So then after they get to know me, I know where to act appropriately
but
for
you're
each
saying
situation.
act.
Well, yeah, we're acting.
You're saying act. Everybody's saying
be.
act. That's acting.
No, it's not a bad thing.
But I don't think that we are acting.
Yeah, we're
all
not
that much.
acting.
So this is say what you got.
This conversation is getting crazy, y'all.
Yeah.
So go ahead, babe.
I
I'm
understand the perspective that Steven has, but because they live in Japan, I understand where they coming from. You're in, you know, America. We push individuality here, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is Japan. This is Japan. This is their culture. You know, you don't want to. I understand what he's saying. I do, but that's their culture. And me being the person I am, I'm not no loud person, but I'm not going to act small.
You're not going to act small, nor would you act a way to still be liked because you're halved.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. I don't care to be liked.
No, that's facts. I don't care to be liked. I don't care to be recognized. I don't care to be the center of attention. But my personality is always going to be vibrant around whoever I'm around.
Right.
I'm not going to, like, okay, so if I got a jolly personality and the majority around me are be quiet, they're going to enjoy me while I'm there.
Right.
Period. I'm not going to dumb it down. I'm not going to play it soft. I'm not going to play the corner field. I'm doing all bases, and we're going to cut up and have a good time. And people who are for you are going to generate towards you. There's no reason for you to just try to just play it soft and do all that. Nah.
Yeah.
But I get where they are coming from, though.
We're going to respect the culture, but at the same time, don't disrespect who you are.
Yeah, by pushing yourself in the back. Exactly.
You don't like yourself based off of who you're around? That's the problem.
And that also breaks the ice. Because as long as you're quiet, they're set to build an assumption about you. And a lot of people do that without even you realizing it. You thinking they just cool and they mind. No, they're looking at you and they're trying to scope you out to see what type of person you are. Do you fit what I think you are? Do you fit the narrative of how I've been taught for you to be? Are you a person snatcher? You know what I'm saying? So it's break the ice and be yourself. Create a conversation like the young lady with the lock said.
Always be
She
yourself.
said, I'll introduce myself.
Right.
Can't go wrong with that. What, babe?
Because, you know, every now and then we still get these comments, but especially at the beginning of our reacting journey, people will come in the comment section and say, oh, y'all need to react like this person. Do this. And we will always reply. We have always replied like this from day one. We don't care what other people do. We don't even watch other reactors.
No.
We are the Demouchets REACT. Okay? Don't tell us the way to react. When we signed up for this account, we signed up for YouTube. That means be you.
Yeah.
On Tube. you on the YouTube.
Through the tube of the people lens.
Don't come tell us how to act.
All millions of you all.
Okay.
All millions.
Just two different cultures. But it's very American to be like, this is not good. It should be more this way. It should be more. Japanese people enjoy this way. And they feel comfortable in this way. This is the culture.
Like she said, this is a culture. So, what else you can do if you're not comfortable with breaking the ice and you want to sit back and play small? You can always learn their ways. You know what I'm saying? It's good to have a friend.
Right.
So if you have somebody on side you, they reading or they doing it, everybody just chilling, you can also ask questions. You know what I'm saying? So there's ways that you can immerse yourself in the crowd without being the center of the attention.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
Don't stand out if you're that uncomfortable.
If you're that uncomfortable.
But you have to respect cultures.
Got
like,
to.
You have
learn
to
it. Learn it. If anything, learn it.
I will live in Japan for the rest of my life. 3.
They grew up there.
2, 1.
Some of them. Ooh.
That's interesting.
I think as a Westerner coming to Japan, we know we can easily see the opportunities and we jump on them because I have a different mindset. So will I stay in Japan? I'm not really sure, but I like what I'm doing and I see so much opportunity here. There's so many voids that I can fill.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay, Jasmine, talk about it.
I think a lot of Japanese people have an idea of what Black men are like, but Black women are not seen as much. And so when I see my other Black foreigner friends here, all of us have a very similar experience. It seems more freeing for us as Black women compared to Black men. So I just hope things kind of stay the same, but I know they won't.
I just don't feel Japan as a society is a good place to raise up your kids.
Why is that?
We're coming from Africa, sometimes we don't even have the best opportunities. But in Japan, they're just.
I'm sorry, he said it's not the best place to raise your kids?
Yeah.
All right, just wanted to make sure I heard him right, because they've been knowing him tonight.
He makes
Don't
sense,
feel
though.
Japan as a society is a good place to raise up your kids.
Why is that?
We're coming from Africa, sometimes we don't even have the best opportunities. But in Japan, they're just flooded with so much opportunity and so much and they take that for granted.
I mean, for me, it just depends on career, I guess. If something takes off and my best opportunity is just to stay in Japan, of course I'll take it. It's not like I want to leave the place.
Right now I'm happy. I'm doing what I like. I live alone, so sometimes it's lonely. But besides that, I'm happy here. I have a lot of great friends. But to stay here forever, I don't know.
エンターテインメントってなった時にさっきお話ししたみたいにまだ日本じゃ機会が少なくて与えた方が思ってるからこそ今は日本にいるべきじゃない時だから今ここに立ってるかな。
アイシャはずっと小さい頃から大人になるまでずっと日本に住んでて I had some great experiences working in Japan and I'm so thankful for it, but I wonder what it's like living in America. I wonder what it's like to walk down the street and not have everybody stare at me and see people that look like me and talk like me,
So as a YouTuber, I get the same questions over and over and over, especially from an American audience. What is it like being Black in this country? What is the racism like? Or do you experience racism? And I think our Blackness hasn't really interfered much or hasn't gotten in the way of opportunities. But it's really difficult explaining this to my family, to my friends, to my subscribers, because they get angry saying racism does exist and they're trying to fight me.
So I think that's an interesting point. Part of me has the same feeling that once we're here, we're not experiencing the vitriol and color doesn't really matter. So we get to exist as in our space that we chose to, and then we get to just do that and focus on that. But we also have to remember that we are kind of the exceptions to the rule, right? And so the rest of America and Black America who've probably never even left their state, who may never even leave their city. So we have to kind of have empathy, I guess, right? And then be able to explain to them what our experiences are, because that was where we were. And so we have to be able to revert back to our former selves to then be able to get them to be where we are, right?
If I heard him correctly, it makes sense when he says empathy. to the people back in the States and people who won't even leave their city. Because if you think about the people in America who don't like really get a stepping stool to get out of their situation, they I don't want to say they're envious, but they see what's going on and they're like, this is what's stopping me. Some people have those mindsets, so I understand why he's saying empathy towards them. Right,
definitely. And I feel like for us, it's kind of like what I said earlier. Being in America, race is an everyday topic.
It is.
You know, so in there, they're saying that it's not, which is a good thing. And it could be hard for some people here to not understand. And how she said it, racism does exist. Earlier, they said that the culture teaches them to be afraid of black people. That is a form of racism.
Yeah, so now I'm about to ask you what the YouTuber said, because she said her subscribers is telling her that racism does exist, and she's explaining to them that my skin color isn't as much as a factor as it would be elsewhere.
Right, but
you know, so it's like,
if they are taught that different is bad, to be afraid of different, he going into classrooms where they're crying. That is teaching new generations racism. That is what it is.
That's basically teaching them racism right in front of your face.
Right. So, I mean, maybe
that's like right in front of your face type of teaching.
Yeah, maybe they're not. And the other lady who said that when she got stopped coming home from Miss Universe or something like that.
Yeah, Miss Universe.
And she thought that they were searching her because she's black. That's the form of racism. Maybe it doesn't exist on a level that we have to deal with here.
And the young gentleman spoke of that as well. The violence is not as opening and prevalent, but back at y'all know how it go.
So, I mean,
good conversations, very good conversations. They're talking about it.
And a homogenous community, of course, racism won't be as big as it is here.
Facts.
You know.
Wait, who's this? Oh, this is everybody. Okay.
I had never talked about any of this ever before. It made me realize that I wasn't alone in my experience and that lots of other people were going through similar things.
We're all in love with this country that we live in, and all of us have found our own way. I learned a lot coming here today, which was really interesting.
For a while now, I've actually felt a bit lost. I'm really grateful that I managed to meet these other people. I think this was a really important step in my journey to find out who I am.
仕事を通じて自分がいろんな役をすることでやっぱり子どもたちに希望を与えていきたいっていうのが私の目標であり夢なので今は女優業を通じて次の世代の子どもたちにいろんな夢を与えたいなって思います。
I want black people in Japan to really know specifically that a lot of things that you think might be holding you back, you should challenge. It's important for you to keep pushing yourself to get to where you would want to get.
Hearing just the varying opinions was really rewarding. I want to see more diversity in Japan, and I would love to stay in Japan and help be that positive change, especially for Black women.
People need a conversation, because without a conversation, nothing changes. I learned a lot from some amazing people. And this group, wow. You guys touch my heart. Touch my heart. With our minds open and our eyes looking forward, we can focus on a lot of things that need to be changed.
They do look like a big happy family, baby.
I thought that was a family. I really thought, especially the young one looked like the little brother. And he looking like the pops and the yeah, they do look like a big family, real talk. I mean, that's what happens when black people get together. They look like a big happy family, bro. Yo,
everybody just assumed their roles in the photo shoot.
I believe this was the end. Yeah, we're gonna start right. Yo,
this was a nice production. Look at YouTube.
Different. Come on, push it. Let's see it, cause I love it. Like, we need to be able to, you know, like immerse amongst one another and understand each other's culture and understand each other's walks and definitely break the narratives of how people have been deemed to be looked upon. Like we need to quit that joint, bro.
I love the diversity. I love how, you know, everybody shared their experiences. Like, I love how they had it set up, and, you know, it just sparked conversation. They helped each other think, not differently, but understand.
Yeah.
I really, really love this. This was a nice conversation. Thank you guys for sending this in.
It was dope.
Yeah, I would have never thought y'all wanted us to react to something like this. Something that we don't really relate to, but we could relate to it in a sense. You know, so this was nice to watch with you guys.
Yeah.
So we hope you guys enjoyed this video with us. Like this video, subscribe, turn on the post notification bell. We have enabled our super thanks if you like to support the channel that way, as well as our join feature to become a VIP member of the channel. Send in your reaction request through our description box below. We'll see you soon.
Peace.